Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Malorian Weekly. And today, what we're going to be talking about is the importance of game reps. So what this is that different people get different amounts of practice for their games. I was just going on to the General War Machine page today on Facebook, and somebody was saying like, wow, some people preparing for tournaments get in like 50 games. Is that crazy? Am I crazy? What's the right amount? So we're going to be talking about today, what is the right amount? Now, I think the first thing to start off with is just that undeniably getting in games is going to make you better, right? Practice makes perfect, and the more times you play the game, the better it is for you. You know, you're just going to learn the game and get better at it. Okay, well, there you go. More equals better. But it's not as simple as that. I think the next thing that you need to really think about is just the idea that if I play against the same opponent 300 times compared to somebody that goes to a convention playing against a whole bunch of different people with different lists and different skill levels, different strategies, and they get 50 games, 30 games even, that person is more than likely going to be a better player at the end of it. Or let's not say that. Let's say they got more benefit from those 30, 50 games than that other person with 200. Now, again, this is not like an exact science. Those numbers don't really mean anything. But the whole idea behind that is that if you're playing the same one over and over and over and over, you're not learning anything, really. I mean, sure, I guess suppose you could be forcing yourself to do different strategies and different lists and different things like that, but really you need to be experiencing new things. You know, if you're a chef, you can't just be making chocolate chip cookies over and over and over and be like magically the best chef ever. You have to go out and try different recipes, learn from different cooks out there, right? Experience different things so you can incorporate it into your own. And it's exactly the same thing when it comes to actually playing the game and learning it. You're not going to learn how to defeat Circle by playing against Scorn. You got to play against Circle. And it's not even just a simple thing like, okay, I played Circle once, check mark, you're done. You got to play it over and over again so that all these different situations for like, oh, well, last time that interaction didn't come up, or last time I did this type of deployment and it did this, so this time I'm going to deploy like this, or they just are going to be doing a completely different caster, or it's a new person with a completely different tactic, right? Like one person doing Kruger 2 and another person doing Kruger 2 will do completely different things. One might be going big time in for scenario, another person assassination, so it can be extremely different even though it's the same caster. So you need those experiences and being able to get out there and actually do these. The next thing you need to really look for is that what that skill level is between the two of you, because what that is will really determine how much benefit you're getting from it. So what I mean from this is that if you're going into a game and let's say you're really good and you're up against somebody who really sucks, you're going to walk in, you're going to stomp all over them, and hooray. You know, like a good example is like some of the times I do demo games, right? I go into those, and when I'm not being a good press ganger and I just go bang, boom, look at this, you lose on scenario because you didn't advance up far enough. There you go, done, you know, bottom of 2, top of 3, whatever it is, you know, like, okay, great. You know, like I did not learn anything from that. My opponent might learn something, but if nothing else, they might have just learned that I'm a jackass. You know, let's look at this as a reverse. If I am a brand new player, low skill level, up against a pro, and I just get squashed, I don't know what's going on. Things were going on and my caster was dead. Or magic, things moved around and all of a sudden you won on scenario. What the hell's going on? Oh, the game's done and I have to wait now 2 hours until the next one? Yeah, this game's bullshit. Bye, I'm out of here, right? I literally had someone at a tournament, that's what happened to them. They were just getting into the game. They went up against Sloan, got shot dead. Okay, fine. These things happen. Smile. Next game, Lilith 2, shot dead. I'm like, screw this. I'm going home. And I never saw them at a tournament again. And I had to fight to get them to come out to some weekly gaming. So, I mean, that's the type of thing we're looking at here. So if you have that, it's not going to be a good experience. And more importantly to what we're saying in this video, you're not going to learn a lot from it. You need someone that's more equal skill level to you. And again, it doesn't have to be like exactly, but if you're in the same range so that it's going to be a fair fight going all the way through, because really the longer the game goes and the closer it is, then the more interactions you're going to be dealing with, the more interactions you're going to have to leverage to try and beat them. And that's where you really learn, when all of a sudden it's like, okay, I need to literally pull out every trick in the book to try and win this game. That's when you start learning every trick in the book. So that's really, really important to understand as well. I think another big thing, though, past this is how much investment are you putting into this game to actually learn from it? Are you forcing yourself to learn? I mean, there's some people where they could have all the best situations possible. They're getting lots of games against lots of different people, lots of different factions. Let's even just assume that they're all in the same skill level. But if they just walk into it and be like, yeah, I'm going up, I'm doing Sloan, turn 2, do I assassinate you? Yes, no, okay, that's the game. And just not really doing anything to really learn from it, well, then of course they're not going to learn from it. But if you go into a game and you're really focusing, okay, in this game, I want to try this interaction. In this game, you know what? In the list pairing, I know this list is better, but screw it. I want to try and turn this one from where it's probably like an 80-20 for my opponent to being a 70-30. You know, if I can try and improve that matchup, if I ever get caught in the list chicken, it's just better for me, right? Or people that after the game, they're looking back on it saying, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Next time, what can I do? You know, those people who are investing that time specifically trying to learn from the games that they're playing are going to really benefit. It was interesting when I was doing battle reports all the time before, and then I took that break where I was like, you know what, I'm going to pump the brakes, spend more time with the family, and I noticed a significant decrease in my play, because before that I would be going over almost every single one of my games picture by picture, seeing like, oh, I did this, and thinking about each one individually because I had to, because I was making a battle report. But when I stopped doing that, I noticed immediately that my knowledge of the game went down. Now, here's another thing that really goes along with that I want to really stress is that right now, surprise, surprise, we're in a pandemic. People are not getting games unless they're doing Vassal or, you know, something like that. And so really, this is an interesting case when it comes to a question like this, because, well, if we're saying that getting games in means that you're going to be getting better, and if everybody, assuming that nobody's doing Vassal, just for the sake of the argument, let's say nobody's doing Vassal, at the end of this, are everybody going to be exactly the same now, and we're all going to be the same skill level? No, of course not. Of course, the people that were good before are more than likely going to be the people that are going to be good coming out of this. And the reason for that is because they're spending that time right now still thinking about the game, still trying to learn about the game. Even if they can't play Vassal games of their own, they're probably talking to people about tactics. They're watching other games. They're thinking about, they're crafting lists. They're thinking about matchups. And it really is, again, that's what I'm trying to stress, that insight and that dedication into trying to learn the matchups and learn the game that really makes you a better player, right? This is not a thing where it's like running, where it's like the more you run, the more you are in shape, the better your cardio, and there you go. You're going to be a better runner because you ran a lot. Well, if you play, you know, game after game after game after game, we talked about that, where that's not really the real learning is. So I think the big thing that I want to get from this whole path that we went over here, this whole journey, is that for starters, yes, you need to get games in. If you want to improve as a player, you need to get games in order to actually make sure that you improve and have that chance to practice makes perfect type thing. Once that's done, though, once you're actually getting games, specifically make sure that it's games against different types of things. If you have not played that person for a long time, try and play that person. If you've not played that faction for a long time, try and play that faction. And then next step with that, try and find people that are on the same roughly skill level as you. I mean, again, don't shoo away and say no to the others. If a new player wants to learn, great, go in there and help them learn. If one of the top players wants to play against you, go in there and just do your best to see what you can learn. But in general, try and aim for people of the same amount of skill. And then finally, the big thing is make sure you have that dedication where you're trying to learn from it, where you're looking at it, you know, before the game, during the game, whatever it is, but make sure that this game is something that's going to be improving you as a player. There's some aspect about this game, whether it's a decision for who's going first, a deployment style, an interaction you're looking at, but something you want to learn from this game. And I think then that the very, very last thing I want to touch on is that at the end of the day, this game is a game. And so if you ever push this so far that you're like, man, this thing is like a job now, like I've been trying to get more games. I'm forcing myself to get X number of games per month, and I'm forcing myself to spend this much time trying to think about the game, and it's just like another job right now. Well, if that's what you're looking for, and you're looking for basically this to be like a job so that you're going to be going, and maybe you're a WTC player and you have to improve so you can, represent your country. At the end of the day, though, for almost everybody else, and even really for those players too, the primary thing about this game is going to be the enjoyment. So if going to one of those steps means that you're not enjoying this game anymore, screw it. If trying to hunt down all these different types of players isn't making it fun, then don't. Just take whatever random player you can. If forcing lots of games in is just not working because, look, you work a job, you got a family, you do this, you do that, fine, just get whatever games you can and enjoy it. So I really want this whole spectrum being understood, especially during this pandemic time. And like, if the worst case scenario is that you can't get games in, at least make sure that you're spending that time at least thinking about it. And then you can get something from that anyway. Even if it's like, hey, I can do that jank list. And then when it comes up, you can give it a try. So there you go. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions on this or any comments, please post it below. And otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.